Hello everyone, Switched Up here. This is another love story update. It has been a while since I made an update for my love stories, but this is something I needed to inform you all. I'm not so sure if anyone have noticed if the list of my True for Love stories have been somehow been shorted down. Because a few days ago I had around 500 stories. But now it's like, or almost like 490 or something. And the reason why is only this a few, almost like 10 less stories. Well, here is the thing. A few days ago, I start to receive some message on my email. Some of the videos that I have posted had a copyright message. The story itself has been were blocked on YouTube. So you couldn't even see those particular stories. So I removed them. But don't worry, I managed to save a copy of them. I made a downloaded copy of the story and remake them once again. You may ask for one reason. The reason is why is that some of the stories that had a music, some I made that I used from from different movies, for example. And some of the stories were one of the amongst the first from during the 2016 and 2017. And I even might have to warn that this might continue for at least maybe for several months. I don't know exactly how many days, but luckily I will be keeping a lookout at my email every single day, which will be informing me right away when or how many stories that have been blocked on YouTube. But that doesn't even stop me from doing them to remake them. I only have to do just download them and take the pictures like a screenshots from them, and then remake the story and then post it back on YouTube again. But I can't say for certainly how many more stories that would be could have been affected like this of copyright. It is unlikely that I can say exactly though, but if I would guess, the number would be probably like, I don't know, a dozen or something. Ever since I have made close to a 500 stories, the numbers can even be higher though. It can be from maybe 20, it could be almost maybe has, or it could be like 90% of all the stories. Even back on the previous first ones I made could also have some of it. But for now, I will happy inform you all at least about this information because I felt had to inform you all about this if you suddenly notice that one of the stories is suddenly blocked or just removed. I mean, some of the stories might be just have been some of your favorites perhaps, and suddenly and you want to go on to watch that particular story again, and suddenly you detect is either blocked or removed, and you start to ask you ask yourselves, why did Swedish Dapper remove one of my favorite stories? Some of the stories might have probably like from a few thousand views, and and you might even ask you suddenly, why did I promote this story when it was so popular? Well, that is the thing. Most because of some of the music I use from movies and even TV shows. Some of the stories I made was removed at least a few months ago was used and I used some music from Kung Fu Panda. I don't exactly remember which one of the story movies were, but nevertheless, I had just been working on this remakes and for a couple of days now, and I had even worked on a few new love stories. I can tell one of them is based on peer butter, but it's not being focused on peer butter with Bright Mac. In fact, Bright Mac in this story never fell in love with peer butter. So that means Applejack, Apple Bloom, and Big Mac doesn't exist in this particular story because peer butter ends up falling in love with her one of her close friends, a mare. That's all I can say though, except it's an audio story. And there were a few Pokemon stories I have been asked for. For example, Flare and a Leaf, based from some sort of chapter stories. And one of that, in fact, the the one who requested story, Mr. Clough, or Clough the Flareon, what he's calling himself now, asked me to do this. But I also thought maybe do that as an audio story. So I asked him just in case if he wanted it as an audio or music or text. He preferred the regular one. So this is all I can say now for now. And like I said, I don't know how many more stories that will be removed because I kind of lost track of how many of those stories that I used music from shows and TV shows like that. I mean, you easily lost track of that when you had done a few hundred stories, easily to easily to be forgetting details about it. And there were in fact one story that was removed by YouTube, and you even maybe ask, why haven't I remake the story? The fact is, I can't. The fact is why I can't even do that. To remake the story. It is that I don't even remember which story it was. You may ask, that is maybe say that's just crazy excuse, but it isn't. Because after done so many stories, I easily lost track of how many stories that have been made. And they easily forget how what which stories that have been made. Since I could have probably have found same story if I had made one story, let's say back in 2017, and then 2 3 years later, I can find the same particular story but no more pictures, and I probably still got to do the story, but then I discovered I only made that story. So that, and if we consider how many shippings there are within the Malapony fandom base, it is almost enormous of countless of possibilities. So at least from that, it is I have to inform. So if you if you have noticed if some of your favorite stories suddenly been gone or just be gone from the list, is the fact that I have been removing them due to the fact of some copyright message. But I can inform all of you once again that those stories will be back once again just after they've been remade. After those, since I prefer not to be using music from TV shows or movies anymore because of this copyright message I had once before. Since I once before had 40 copyright messages on videos, and since I once got one strike on this channel, and I prefer not to be able to get another strike again. So I really hope that everyone understand that when you ask me to do stories with music from your favorite show or favorite TV show, like anyone, I can't. I don't want to be to take the big risk again to be get another copyright messages popping up like that randomly in numbers and including with another strike. Because if I get the first strike, my channel will be deleted. It is from my understanding. Which that means if my channels get deleted, All the hard work I had done for all these past 10 years would be delayed as gone. Just gone. So, I do hope that everyone understands that some of the reason why some of the stores are gone, but they will be back, and also another reason why I cannot use music from TV shows or movies or perhaps other music made from other singers. But you may ask, what about the music in the background of the stores that I had been worked on recently and some of the remakes? That is in fact music that was made a friend of mine. A friend of mine had made those music from a music app on his phone. And since that is the only part of music can do, but I had to maybe say this also. If the music on my channel, on those videos that he had made, will suddenly get a copyright, someone claims that someone else had made those particular this music. If I don't can provide proof about this, I probably would have to remake all those stories once again without music. I know that many preferred my stories with music and text, but in fact, some of the stories I have planned for in the future will be mixed, both music with text and audio. And I can even also inform that I will going to work on a new story based on an idea that came to me a while back about a treasure hunt in Ponyville. And I didn't even have found any good picture for that. So I asked my girlfriend to find one, and she found two pictures, and I chose one of them, and she will help me to work on the script. And that is all I want to inform all of you about this. I know this was supposed to be a short update, but anyways, this is some of the information that I needed to be telling all of you, just in case if you suddenly noticed some of your stories, perhaps some of your favorite ones, are suddenly just gone. But don't worry, those stories will be back. It's just I needed to be keep updated about myself. And since copyright messages had appeared on my channel once before, so I needed to inform all of you about these potential things that suddenly the stores are being removed and then suddenly back again. I just I just wanted to make sure that all of you are keeping loop and are being updated about what's happening. Since a lot of things has happened right like now in the world with the COVID-19 happening and who knows. Yeah, but that's all I want to say for now though. But yeah. And but yeah, and also another update. The stories about based on Discord Secret Dollar, the last chapter. I haven't been unable to be complete the story yet, but I will. When that story is done, I will focus on recording that story and uploading every single chapter. But that probably won't happen for at least a little bit while. I mean, I'm not much in a hurry to make the story complete. There is some other things that I might like to inform that some of the stories that I mentioned has been gone and will be back. But there is at least a few things that I needed to inform that some of the stories that all of you have been hoping to get to see might be taking a bit longer time because depending how many stories I can be able to do. And but it is all I want to say for now though. Since there are a lot of stories to be taken care of. Believe me, boy, it is tons of stories. Some of the stories my girlfriend have found, some that my I have been requested over time, and some stories I have found, and some stories I came up with myself. And it's a lot of stories. It is. But I even want to go on to do some stories being a little bit different. And you may ask what and how? Well, I'm not so certain myself yet, but it will be no more a bit different. If you go back to those first stories, they were like no much drama, no action like that. But in these particular stories from now on will be more different. I will try to make them as more realistic as possible. But is that yes, that is all I can say for now. And but yeah, I do hope that everyone understands why some of your stories, maybe some of the stories that's just poof gone and then suddenly be back again. So at least I want to inform all of you about this. But if you have any opinions or thoughts about this, let me know in the comment section below because I appreciate every single comment. And once again, this is Switch Diablo over and out.